Hey everybody, this is Andrew Brown with Brown Contracting. Today I'm going to walk you through one of our recent projects. The existing cabinetry features a raised panel door and profiled edges. As you can see, this raised panel is very unique. It will be very difficult to match, but we will try our best. The fridge that was here was much larger, so we're going to close the space to match the new fridge. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting out the original cabinet back panel. It looks like when they went to build the new fridge enclosure for the larger fridge, that it was retrofit into the space. So we're presented with the unique challenge to make the cabinet look like it was supposed to be there. Now, we're enclosing the space, and it is much larger than a traditional fridge. So blending the two will be a challenge. Here we are cutting the base piece. Typically, cabinets are built and assembled as one unit and then installed, but in this unique situation, we're leaving a lot of the existing wood and retrofitting to that space. To do that, I added pocket screws for strength, as this is quite a large span. It's almost 4 feet. So we will have to carry that load with pocket screws, which are very strong. I also did end up pocket screwing the face frame, the centerpiece on the face frame, to add stability on the front. So I went ahead and pulled off the original face frame and modified it for a cabinet door. That way the face matched the existing as much as possible. Here we are cutting the oak for the style and rail of the cabinet door. So the router creates the tongue and groove for the frame of the door, which gives it a lot of strength, and it also cuts out the notch for the raised panel insert. And here we are running the MDF panel through the router bit to create the raised panel face, and it produces a lot of sawdust. Now, I am a neat freak and I like to keep a clean job site, so you will see me clean up quite a bit. And then here we are cutting the tab. It was slightly too thick at 3/4, and I could not source 1/2 inch, so I had to go ahead and modify the tab insert. And it took me a couple tries, but I was happy overall with how it turned out. And here is a closer look at the panel. It's a little more traditional than what is presented in the original kitchen, but it does match very well, and I was happy with it. So here we are assembled with the stiles and rails, making the complete door frame. And onto the trim. So we're going to shrink up the enclosure just a little bit to make it seem a little more natural with the existing fridge. Go ahead and make an adjustment cut and install with glue and pocket screws. Again, same reason we're using pocket screws, gives it a little bit more strength, so when you go to move the fridge, and if it just so happens to bump into the side, it doesn't break off or take the whole thing out. Those pocket screws will hold it nice and tight. And then we're clamping to make sure it doesn't move. All right, now on to prepping for paint. So we went ahead and sanded it down lightly, just enough to make sure that the paint bonds really well. And we're also trying to hide some of that seam on the wood that I added. And now it's time to clean up for the day. The MDF specifically produces a lot of sawdust, so keeping a clean job site is very important to us. Here we are on day 2, ready for paint. Now, it is oil-based, which is very difficult to work with. It takes a long time to dry, but it produces a very strong finish. The doors were specifically hard to paint. I went ahead and filled in the grain on the face to give it a more smooth look to match the rest of the kitchen. And now we have to match the hardware, which was very difficult. So the solution that I came up with was getting dummy knobs for the pantry doors and using the pantry door hardware on the cabinet doors. That way it creates a cohesive look throughout the entire kitchen. So we went ahead and puttied the holes of the cabinet hardware that was on there before installing the dummy knobs. And at the time of shooting this video, the putty had not dried, so it was not able to be sanded. That's what you see there above the dummy knob. But by the end of it, it turned out very clean. And again, happy overall. Here's the finished product. Thank you for watching. See you next time.